Welcome to Fractured Chaos.
You know what's funny about betrayal? It doesn't come from your enemies. It comes gift-wrapped from the people you love most. My name is Timothy Caldwell, and 3 months ago, I thought I was the luckiest man alive. My beautiful wife Emily was 7 months pregnant with what I thought was our first child. The nursery was painted, the crib was assembled, and we were about to celebrate with friends and family at our baby shower. But you know what they say about the best-laid plans? They often lead to public humiliation and paternity tests. Let me take you back to that day. The day my life turned into a reality show that no one would believe was real. It started like any other Saturday. Emily was glowing, literally glowing, in this ridiculous yellow maternity dress that made her look like a pregnant son. I remember thinking, that's my wife. That's my baby. God, I was such an idiot. The decorations were everywhere. Blue balloons because we were having a boy. A boy that would have my eyes, my chin, my last name. At least that's what the plan was. Our friends arrived bearing gifts. My college buddies, her work friends, both sets of parents. Everyone was there to celebrate. Even Emily's co-worker Ryan showed up. Ryan with his perfect hair and his fancy watch, and his habit of texting my wife at odd hours about work emergencies. But I wasn't worried about Ryan. Why would I be? Emily and I had been together for 6 years. We were solid, unbreakable, or so I thought. Here's a little secret I've learned since then. If your wife's phone always lands face down when she puts it on the table, you should probably be concerned. Not that I noticed at the time. I was too busy being the proud father-to-be, mixing mocktails and accepting congratulations. The shower was in full swing. My mother-in-law was directing the gift-opening ceremony, like it was a military operation. Open the one from Aunt Carol next. No, not that one. The one with the elephants on it. Emily was opening a gift from my parents, this ridiculously expensive baby monitor system that they absolutely could not afford, when I noticed something strange. Ryan was standing in the corner, typing furiously on his phone, and then Emily's phone chimed. She glanced at it and I saw something flash across her face. Fear? Guilt? Whatever it was gone in an instant, replaced by that practiced smile of hers. And that's when I first felt it. That itch at the back of my neck. That voice whispering, something isn't right here. But I ignored it. Because who wants to be that guy? The jealous, paranoid husband who causes a scene at his own baby shower. If I had known what was coming, I might have reconsidered. The gift opening continued. Onesies, baby books, a stroller that cost more than my first car. And then it happened. Emily opened a small box. No card, no wrapping paper, just a simple box, and pulled out a tiny pair of baby shoes. White leather with gold laces. Expensive. Who are these from? She asked, looking around the room. No one claimed them. And then Ryan cleared his throat. Those are from me, he said. And there was something in his voice that made the room go quiet. I thought our son should have something special. Our son, not your son, our son. The room froze. I swear I could hear the ice melting in people's drinks. Emily's face went white. What did you just say? I asked. But I already knew. Everyone knew. Ryan stepped forward, and I noticed for the first time that he had the same cleft chin that showed up in our ultrasound. The same one my wife had told me was a family trait on her side. I'm sorry, man, Ryan said, not looking sorry at all. But I can't keep pretending anymore. Emily and I, we've been seeing each other for over a year, and that baby is mine. The DNA test proved it. DNA test. They'd done a DNA test, behind my back. While I was painting the nursery and assembling the crib and picking out names, they were swabbing cheeks and waiting for results. The room erupted. My mother started crying. Emily's father looked like he wanted to murder someone, possibly his daughter. My best friend moved to stand beside me, probably worried I was about to throw a punch, but I didn't. Instead, I did something much worse. I laughed. I laughed so hard I had to sit down, tears streaming down my face while everyone stared at me like I'd lost my mind. Maybe I had. Timothy, Emily whispered, reaching for me. I can explain. That's when I stood up, wiped my eyes, and said loudly enough for everyone to hear, No need to explain, Jess. I already knew. I didn't know. Of course I didn't know. But the look on her face, pure shock, absolute horror, was worth the lie. What do you mean you knew? She stammered. And that's when I took the biggest risk of my life. I doubled down on the bluff. I've known for months, I said, my voice steady despite the fact that my entire life was collapsing around me. Why do you think I've been so agreeable about everything? The expensive crib, the designer baby clothes. I figured if I was paying to raise another man's child, you could at least let me pick out the stroller. Emily's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Ryan took a step back, clearly not prepared for this twist. But, I continued, looking straight at Ryan, what you don't know is that I hired a private investigator 3 months ago, the same day I found your texts on Emily's iPad. Another lie. But watching Ryan's face drain of color made it worth it. In fact, I said, pulling out my phone, I was just waiting for the right moment to share some interesting information she uncovered about you, Ryan. I had nothing. There was no private investigator, no incriminating information. But Ryan didn't know that. No one did. What information? He asked, his voice cracking. I smiled, scrolled through my empty phone as if reading something, and then put it back in my pocket. Let's just say your wife might be interested to know what you've been doing on your business trips to Phoenix, I said. Ryan had a wife? News to me. But judging by the way he stumbled backward, I'd hit the mark completely by accident. Turned out later that he was indeed married, with not 1 but 2 kids already, living in Scottsdale. And yes, he did take frequent business trips to Phoenix. Sometimes the universe throws you a bone. The silence in the room was deafening. And then my mother-in-law, bless her heart, announced loudly, I think we should all give Timothy and Emily some privacy. The room emptied faster than a sinking ship. Only Emily, Ryan, and I remained. You're bluffing, Ryan said finally, but his voice lacked conviction. I shrugged. Call it? He didn't. Instead, he grabbed his coat and left, casting one last look at Emily's pregnant belly before slamming the door behind him. And then it was just the 2 of us. Emily was crying, mascara streaming down her face. How could you? I asked quietly. 7 years together, and you throw it all away for what? Some guy who won't even leave his wife for you? He said he would, she whispered, after the baby was born. I laughed again, but this time there was no humor in it. And you believed him? Do you know how many women I've represented in divorce cases who heard the exact same line? Oh, did I not mention that? I'm a divorce attorney. I literally spend my days sorting through other people's marital disasters. The irony was not lost on me. Emily sank down onto the couch, surrounded by half-opened baby gifts and discarded wrapping paper. What are we going to do? She asked. We? I echoed. There is no we anymore, Jess. You made sure of that. It's been 3 months since the baby shower from hell. Emily moved in with her sister. Ryan, as it turns out, did not leave his wife for her. In fact, he transferred to the Phoenix office permanently. Last I heard, Emily was filing for child support. As for me, well, I moved into a smaller apartment downtown, filed for divorce the Monday after the shower. My lawyer thinks we'll be able to finalize it before the baby arrives. Oh, and remember that private investigator I was bluffing about? I actually did hire one. Not before the shower, but the day after. And guess what she found? Not only had Emily been seeing Ryan for over a year, but there were 2 other men before him. 2 other men. The real kicker? One of those men was my cousin, Mark. The same cousin who sent us a wedding gift with a card that read, "To the happy couple, may your love story be one for the ages." It was one for the ages, all right, just not in the way any of us expected. You want to know the strangest part of all this? I'm almost grateful it happened. Not the cheating. That still feels like someone ripped my heart out with a rusty spoon. But the revelation, the truth. Because living a lie is its own kind of prison, even when you don't know you're in it. There's this thing they tell you in law school about evidence. Sometimes the most damning evidence isn't what you find, it's what you don't find. The text messages that are deleted, the calls that aren't logged, the explanations that don't quite add up. Emily and I were planning to name the baby Samuel after my grandfather, Samuel Timothy Caldwell. It had a nice ring to it. I wonder what name she'll choose now. Last week, I ran into Emily at the grocery store. Her belly was huge. She must be due any day now. We stood there in the frozen food aisle, surrounded by ice cream and frozen pizzas, neither of us knowing what to say. Finally, she broke the silence. "I'm sorry," she said, "for everything." I nodded. What else could I do? "The baby," she started, then stopped. "The DNA test showed it's definitely Ryan's." "I figured," I said. She looked down at her hands. No wedding ring anymore. "I never meant to hurt you. And here's the thing. I believe her. Not that it matters. Some betrayals can't be undone with apologies." I was about to walk away when she grabbed my arm. "There's something else you should know," she said, her voice urgent. "Something I never told anyone." I waited, my heart pounding despite myself. "I'm not the only one who's been lying," she whispered. For a moment, I panicked. What did she know? Had she discovered that I'd been skimming money from our joint account to pay off my student loans faster? Or that I'd been the one who accidentally killed her beloved houseplant by watering it with leftover coffee? But what she said next knocked the wind out of me. "Ryan isn't the father either." I stared at her, not comprehending. "What are you talking about? You said the DNA test." "I lied about the test," she interrupted. "There never was one. Ryan just assumed, and I let him." "Then who?" "I don't know," she admitted, tears welling in her eyes. "It could be any of 3 men, maybe 4. Last spring I was going through something." 4 men, 4, and I wasn't one of them. I should have been angry. I should have yelled or cursed or made a scene right there between the frozen peas and the TV dinners. But instead, I felt something unexpected. Relief. Because in that moment, I realized I was free. Free from the doubt, the suspicion, the wondering if the child I would raise would someday display features that didn't belong to me. Free from a marriage that had apparently been broken long before I realized it. "Good luck, Emily," I said, and I meant it. Then I walked away, leaving my cheating wife, her unborn child of mysterious paternity, and the shattered remains of our life together behind me in aisle 12. You know what's funny? Last night I had a dream about that baby. In the dream, he was about 5 years old, with Emily's eyes and a cleft chin that could have belonged to Ryan or maybe one of the other mystery men. He was playing in a park, laughing as he went down a slide. I woke up crying. Not because I missed what could have been, but because for a brief moment I felt like I dodged a bullet, and then immediately felt like the worst person in the world for thinking that. The truth is, none of this is the baby's fault. He didn't ask to be born into this mess. He didn't choose his father, any of his potential fathers. Sometimes I wonder if I should have fought harder for my marriage, tried to work things out, been the bigger person. But then I remember the look on Emily's face when Ryan said, "Our son." The panic, yes, but also something else. Relief. Relief that the secret was finally out. Some secrets are too heavy to carry alone. Some lies are too big to sustain. Yesterday, my lawyer called. The divorce is final. Just in time, too. Emily's due date was last week. Somewhere in this city, there might already be a baby boy who could have been my son, but never was. And me? I've got a date tonight. First one since the split. She's a pediatric nurse named Claire who lives in my building. We've been riding the elevator together for months, making small talk about the weather and the perpetually broken vending machine in the lobby. Last week, she asked if I wanted to grab coffee sometime. I said yes before I even realized what was happening. Is it too soon? Probably. Am I still carrying more baggage than an international airport? Definitely. But life goes on, doesn't it? It has to. The funny thing about betrayal is that it teaches you who you really are. When the life you thought you had vanishes in an instant, you're left with nothing but yourself. And sometimes, that's enough. So here I am, Timothy Caldwell, no longer a husband, never became a father, starting over at 34. And you know what? I think I'm gonna be okay. Oh, and that detective I hired? She's coming with me to Claire's cousin's wedding next month. Turns out we have a lot in common. We both enjoy unraveling other people's lies for a living. Life is funny that way. Just when you think the story is over, you realize it's only the beginning of a different one. At the baby shower, I lost a wife, a child, and the future I thought I had planned. But maybe, just maybe, I found something else. The truth, and myself.